How's it going, everybody? TheRadioMimic here with another one, and today we are back in the build world. We're going to run through some of the more recent builds and then start working on a little project that could push the world further. Alright, and to fill you in with a little recap, day 31 was a request for a wither skeleton. We had 699 blocks to use for this. The arrow is sort of going into this build, but I think this turned out pretty well. It was a request by Master Link, and they have a wither skeleton on their profile pic. So there we have it. I feel like that turned out pretty well. And then over here next to the arena, we have day 32, a request by Crazy Colt, and it was to make John Wick. I was trying to do full scale size for like a Minecraft skin, and we ended up not having enough blocks, so I had to size it down a little bit and get rid of his arms. I think it still looks okay. It still somewhat resembles John Wick. And then back over here, Sans with a mustache. Request for day 33 by Shining Shot 22. It was to make a smaller skeleton with a mustache. It ended up actually being taller. I wasn't intending to do pixel art, but I started to go three-dimensional and ran out of blocks. But I think it still looks pretty good. That's pretty solid for my first pixel art. And then for day 34, request by Sham UPV, that is today. It was to build a spear and a mace with emerald. So I built it with emerald accent and primary material for the actual weapon itself. Like up here, it was gonna be like the center line, but then I wanted to sort of square this off at the top. But I think this looks pretty well. Now, let's get right into the fun. I'm going to start by making a runway for like a small airport of sorts. Don't know how that's going to turn out, but we're going to start it off. At least making the landing strip. Or the tarmac? Tarmac, I think that's what it's called. So to start with, we're going to have to flatten this whole area. And that's going to be a little harder than I imagined, but that'll be okay. We're just going to flatten this area, get it to grass, and then once it's flat enough, we'll start using smooth stone for the tarmac. You know, as we go, I'm really noticing how many blocks it really takes to flatten an area. We're going to have to figure out a solution for that eventually. Probably world edit or something along those lines. But for now, we don't have that. I think I can manually world edit, but we're not going to do that for this one. It's not necessarily big enough for me to justify doing it, so we'll stick to just placing blocks and breaking blocks for the time being. You know, making an airport or an airstrip of sorts, it's not going to be a full-blown airport. That's something I would probably build in a super flat. That could be a ton of fun, but as of right now, that's not something we'll consider doing. Just because having to get rid of so many blocks or place so many blocks is mind-boggling to me. But this does introduce us being able to, fit planes into our world. And I know that's something that's been asked about for quite some time by random people and people on other platforms aside from just YouTube that have seen the shorts in other places. And I want to give everyone an opportunity to be able to give their idea and actually have it built. I don't want it to be restrained by any means, unless it's super crazy. I did have one request that I told them I would not make it, but that is for other reasons. There's something almost calming about doing terraforming. It takes a while and it can be grindy sometimes, but there's something really calming about it. And that's just really nice, to be honest. You know, this is something I've considered doing as well on Sundays, like subscriber Sundays or something like that, and try to be satisfying with some builds as we're going, and maybe like put on some lo-fi, do some builds that people that join the stream want to see. that's something I've considered. I don't know if that's something you all would want to see though. Let me know. Let me know what you think about that. We should probably make a taxiway. I don't know where I'd put it. I would really have to flatten out some more area. You know what? Yeah, it's just gonna be an airstrip. That's it. Nothing else. For now. And then we'll build planes up in the sky. What kind of planes would y'all want to see? No guarantee I can pull off a specific plane, but I can definitely try. That's something I think would be fun to try to make. And I can make a ton of different hangars as well. I feel like this is a bit of progress to start with, and then I flattened out this area a little bit. I know we'll have to bring it out a bit more if we want the taxiway, but yeah. And I guess it would make more sense for this to be the taxiway and then the runway being over here. Since normally you don't have hangars right off the runway. That's normally the taxiway to my understanding, if I know airports, maybe. I think that's how it works. But yeah, either way, I think it looks okay. For being what it's supposed to be, I think it looks okay. It's a good start and a good little area for a hangar for maybe like some type of small fighter jet or something. Let me know what you want me to add to this. And not all the builds are going to be this boring, I promise. I plan on making like larger builds that aren't just me primarily terraforming the area. That's just what we sort of have to do for the time being because there's so many hills and mountains where we're at. Either way, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like and stick around if you wanna. We have a lot of new people around now, so yeah. And this world is only getting bigger with the more people we have. So I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.